for a £25, I'd be happy as well.
This video is pretty long. It's about an hour long. It shows me fishing 5 different matches. This is our own private festival. So there's 22 lads fishing. We go every year and we fish, basically we stay at White Acres and we fish around White Acres. So I've got 4 matches at Mawgan Porth and 1 at Treewaters. I've done videos before. We fish normally Treewaters and Mawgan Porth, but they've had some major weed issues on the top lake at Treewaters, which pretty much is unfishable, so therefore we had to slightly amend our format for the matches. So a bit of a shame it had to be split up into like subsections and that, so we only got to fish together for 2 days, but you know, it happens. Obviously it'd have been nice to have been told in advance. We could have maybe sorted out another venue, but yeah, but wow, what can I say? It is what it is. So anyway, this is the video. I hope you enjoy it. I'll do some voiceovers obviously, which I'm doing now, and go from there. Now, in all the years I've been coming to White Acres, I've never fished a bottom lake. One year they did put it in, and I know Neil Richards had a good weight. He was to my left. I think he was about roughly peg 44-ish. But anyway, I've started off really well. So I've drawn peg 39. I started on pace short because it's been really, really hot. We've had like a major heat wave. So, and as soon as you fed any sort of pellets, the fish sort of give themselves away because the lakes are reasonably silty, so the fish do blow quite a lot. So for me, that just stands out. Less fish paced. If you fish like long, feeding pellets, fish just blow to where they're rooting around on the bottom. And obviously, it can get quite difficult to catch on like sort of like traditional sort of baits like hard pellets or expanders. So this time of year, with the water temperatures the way they are, then obviously pace is pretty good. So a few anglers caught on pace well this week. So something definitely you can't ignore. So I've had a blistering start. Lake's pretty shallow, so for those who's interested in fishing Mawgan Porth, this bottom lake's not very deep. It's only maybe, I would say, the pegs I drew 39, and I did draw 44 on one of the days. And I would say it's no deeper than 5 foot. Looking at my rig, I'd say it's about 4 foot deep. I felt there wasn't so many F1s in this lake as what there is in the top lake. I think the top lake's got an awful lot of F1s. Now Trev does say there's quite a few in there and they tend to hug the island. So hey, he knows the venue a million times better than what I do because he owns it. But it was pretty good. The stamper carp were pretty decent. Didn't mess around. I mean, the watercolour, I wouldn't say it's like chocolate, but it's got a good colour to it. So I just fished 020 straight through. I didn't mess around. I did have rigs that were lighter, but I did have rigs that like had 014 up them. So just in case I did need to scale down, or if I felt I was catching more F1s, then obviously fishing a lighter up length, even with paste, potentially get a lot more bites. What was quite interesting about this lake was that it did switch off. Literally at 1:30, the lake became almost impossible to catch fish. I'm not sure why. I mean, obviously it was really hot, flat, calm, real bright sunshine, but there was hardly any fish caught after that period of time for whatever reason.
Deal master.
And obviously I wish I knew this potentially was going to happen, so I would have pushed my peg maybe a little bit harder to begin with, because 5-day festival we got, there's no points, it's all done on weight. So you're always sort of in it, if that makes sense. So you could have a bad couple of days and draw a real good peg and put it back. There's one year, Mark Baston done fantastic. I think he had about £180. So I don't think he didn't win the festival.
Is he going to come down in a couple of days?
He wasn't doing that great, and then all of a sudden it's pushed him right up. So it's a good bit of fun. We all put 20 quid in the kitty, so it's not like we're putting loads of money or there's loads of money to fish for. Just a bit of banter really, which fishing should always be about.
What's up with it?
I definitely need to lose some weight. I don't know if you noticed that my whole platform just rocked.
Well, to be fair, I heard salmonella, but I didn't know who it was about.
So there's all the weights. Might be worth pausing. I had £84. So day 2, I've drawn peg 26. So we're back at Mawgan Porth. I had 26 on Saturday, which is like a practice sort of open match. So it's all about feeding really. So just making sure you don't feed too much bait and stuff, and just take it steady sort of eddy really. Also make sure I had a feeder set up. I didn't set up a feeder on Saturday. So this is Monday, day 2, because our festival's from Sunday to Thursday. So I just missed out on the frame on Saturday. So I had £63, and Jason Robinson just beat me. He was 4, and he had 6. He beat me by 9 ounces. So hey, you know, it is what it is. So I've learnt a few things. Obviously, you could definitely be careful about fishing shallow and that. I felt like pinging pellets and that sort of messed up the bottom completely. Obviously, this is voiceover. I know Johnny Rouse won one of the matches on Wednesday when we were on the bottom lake. He had £124, and then Magoo on the last day threw this very peg 26, and Johnny Rouse was on 24. And Magoo drew 26 this peg, and he's had £124. John Rouse fished casters shallow, and Magoo fished a jigger with pellet shallow. So obviously there's quite a few F1s in this area.
Stop talking and listening.
the paceline was quite noticeable. It would die short, and looking back, it was evident that once it died, just don't feed it. And then I should have refed it when you wanted to go back on it, like say towards the end of the match. Trying to build up a swim, especially with F1s and stuff, was a terrible mistake. Gone out long now and fishing worms, like a worm stodge was decent. Start getting a run of bites and stuff. Should have figured this out a little bit sooner. I know I've done in the past done quite well fishing like a worm stodge. And just catching a few skimmers, F1s, and you know, a few carp on it as well. So this was decent. Pig and pellets, sort of like longer, trying to catch pace to my right. Again, not a bit, you know, I'm old enough and wise enough now, I should have realised not to do this. I mean, not that I know Mawgan Porth really well, because we only fish it once a year. So yeah, and it does change a bit. So I suppose that's the beauty of fishing and it, learning and stuff, little tweaks on the venues and stuff. Makes all the difference. Beautiful fish. So I caught Steady Eddie at £90, was second. So that's the total weight over the 2 days combined. So day 3, it's a bit cooler, still pretty hot, and I've drawn an absolute flyer. So I've just moved slightly to my right, pegged 22. Now, for me, I'm lucky that I've avoided the 2 bigger matches. On Mawgan Porth, I've avoided the high numbers on this lake and the low numbers. You didn't want to draw like pegs like 2, 4, sort of 5 area. I mean, 5 can be alright. So you got the big willow, and then I'm guessing it's pegs like 34, 3, 2. Definitely want to avoid really. Unless the wind's howling up there, or there's not so many of you on the lake, then you could have an absolutely fantastic day. But generally speaking, I think you want to be further down the bowl, in my experience, on the bigger matches, because it's just pressure. You know, your peg's much wider here, and it's your own, so got no one opposite. So happy days. So again, starting short, and obviously learn a bit, because this is like my 3rd day now on Mawgan Porth, which I ain't got a problem with. So now I'm just making sure I don't start throwing pellets in, like hindering them in. Just trying to sneak some fish on the hook, like.
on, Big Baz. I reckon you might be the caravan winner.
The video wasn't sped up, so you can see, you know, some people say that pace fishing is a bit too slow and stuff, but I'm not so sure. Unless it's absolute, you know, bagging fest, whereas you've got to be unbelievably fast, then no, I still think you can catch pretty good on pace, to be fair. Again, it weren't going to last, but if you notice, I'm making sure that I don't get that caterpillar out and start loose feeding bait, because I know it is a bad mistake. Can mong here, so maybe mogging against the reeds would like to think it would work. I did try it for a period of time and it wasn't very good. Thing is, you know, this is the third day this lake's been fished now, and like a lot of venues, you know, the fish do wise up. So I caught very well on my stodge mix again, but this time I fished like maggot. I just fished double dead rag maggot and a bit of stodge, and that was decent. I had a good run against the far bank. Now I did turn it off because it started to rain. I didn't want to risk my camera, so obviously at the moment it's beautiful sunshine, but we had quite a heavy shower. It lasted a period of time, so I turned my camera off and didn't dare get off my box until I needed another net. Oh my gosh, as soon as I stuck another net in, I couldn't believe I couldn't catch. Could be coincidental, but yeah, a bit disappointing. I had a couple of decent fish down the edge. Thought better go and get another net. I got another net and it was a kiss of death, and Larry had the same. So I was a bit lucky this day. I had £85 for second, Larry had 83, and Jason Crowley was absolutely on fire. He's had over £100. He's won again. So, yeah, fair play to you. Now, because of the clash of venues, they've had to do a random draw. So A or B section was going to go to either Treewaters or Mawgan Porth. And we drew Mawgan Porth. Now, Trev was very good to let us out of this lake. So there's 11 of us on this lake. This meant every peg was in. And the only concern was the pegs to my right, which was all our concern, not just my concern, even Trev's concern. So basically, peg 38 and 9 is very close together. 37 is like in the corner. So that wasn't very good. I've been lucky, I've drawn 44. Not so lucky here.
That's why David said no gardening.
A snag. Because I fish like right here, I've actually pulled the snag out.
Yeah, don't mess around.
So, yeah. So, got Dangerous Dave next to me on 45, and I've drawn 44, which I was happy with the draw, to be honest. I mean, quite long to the islands, like a true probably 17 and a bit metres. So I've decided to fish along there. I did start short, never had a bite. Didn't keep it very long, so I was worried about my window of fish. Now obviously we fished this on Sunday, had to think about that. And it switched off at like 1:30. The lads fished it on Tuesday.
I'm trying to pull this out.
Tuesday,
then I just
yeah.
ripped someone's neck.
So yesterday, and again the lake fished off, switched off about 1:15. There was only 6 of them. When we fished it, there was only 6 of them as well. I can't believe I threw this.
We're between us, right? Throw my camera back.
Back in the lake.
That's a tench.
What?
Tench.
A tenker?
Yeah.
Have you ever caught a tench here before?
No. I lost the pole though.
Oh.
Yeah, honestly, it's tench though.
I can see it. Just leave anyway for it. There's Larry on it. Yeah? Fucking garden is still there. Oh.
Yeah, the pole's gone down the river there.
So I have drawn peg 31 on Treewaters. Now this would be roughly about old peg 38 that people that know Treewaters. Peg 37 has been taken out. The platform is no longer there. The water is a lot clearer than I thought it was. I didn't think it was that clear until I hooked my first fish, and I realised, oh gosh, this is really clear. You can probably see a good 12 to almost 14 inches into it, so it's not 12 inches and 9 inches, it's a true 12 inch. There's a few fish like swimming up and down the lake like 200 miles an hour, and there's a few like packs of carp and stuff, so there was potential for muggers. Obviously the fish that are charging through the peg waste of time, they're just going to mug you, and we all knew it was potentially going to be very tough. I mean, I was a little bit optimistic. I thought I drew a very good peg, a little bit of ripple blowing towards me. I just felt that if I just sat there, be patient and stuff, maybe rotate a few lines, try and get your timings right. I'd like to think that maybe you might catch like 70, 80 pound. Oh, so wrong. Caught a couple of early carp down the edge. But definitely didn't have it right. So yesterday was mega tough, only weighed 25 pound. Bit disappointed with myself, lost a couple, just pull in, foul lookers, and then it just died again at probably just before 1, and I've not caught, I've had one carp, I mean like literally the last 4 hours, and 2 little tiny rudd. And this is potentially going to be another very tough day, but like I said, I did fancy this peg. Just take your time with the fish, fighting really, really hard, so I didn't mess around, just fishing 020 straight through. 2.5 hollow elastic, which seems to be just my go-to elastic at the moment, to be honest with you. Love the stuff. And just taking time, just fishing an 8 minute spander, and just tapping in some 4mm pellets and a bit of corn. Couldn't be any simpler, really. Didn't really want to feed micros because it's quite deep. I thought I had to come off the bank, which was definitely the right thing to do. The water was a bit too clear for them to catch, against the bank in normal sort of shallow water. I just felt, and I said it at the beginning, before I drew the peg, I felt 31 would be decent. However, the only worrying thing was there was lack of weed. I feel like if your peg's full of weed, like it was last year, I had 3 great days because my peg was full of weed and full of fish. It was challenging to get them out, but you could get them out. And this was just a tough match. Got my timings wrong. Should have been more patient. A bit like Larry's style. Larry he just sits on the top kit a lot of his fishing, or fishing short, and just waits. And he has done pretty well this week, to be fair. And he almost beat me today as well. I think he really probably would have had another quarter of an hour. He would have beat me, to be fair. And obviously I'm on a way better peg, in my opinion. So there's definitely a place for it where, you know, you just feed a bit of bait, sit there patiently and wait. And no, I'm not teaching this fish how to swim. It's just I don't want to lose it. Just want to take my time. And as you can see, Treewaters is a very attractive surroundings for a commercial water. Like I say, just taking my time. Don't want to pull too hard because Jason's going to win the festival without a doubt. And to be fair to him, he won again today with £55. Jason Robinson was second with £40. Dangerous Dave and then was third with £28. And then Derek had £26.14. And I had £26.8. Yesterday I said I had £25, weighed £25. And today I said I had 27 and weighed 26.8. I'm glad I didn't skip the scale down. I did put a lighter rig on 014 hook length, 018 mainline. Didn't get any bites on it, so I just figured put back the 020 rig and just sit there and wait. As you can see now, like this fish is really angry. Look how much elastic I got out. Just using the Maver commercial power. Quite surprised how many ghost carp were swimming up and down the lake. No one caught one, because I done the weigh-in. So whatchamacallit, didn't see anyone catch a ghost carp. There's the overall standings. Congratulations to Jason Crump, Michael Lane, Jason Robertson, Larry Lang, and Liam done well on the last day to push Ricky Mills out. So unlucky Ricky Mills, and D Rich wasn't too far away neither.